Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which I'll show you how to solder pin heads. What you will need for this lesson is a flux, which is material used to make the joint get soldered correctly. It's called soldering base. This is the one that I use. It's really help to make your welding very smooth. As you can see, this is what's inside it. It's like a jelly. Now, next you will need the solder. As you can see, this is it. You can purchase any type of solder online. I'll add links. As you can see, this one has alloy 7330. I don't know if you can read it here. It's written in yellow, which is really weird. It's 0.6 millimeter thickness. As you can see, it's not that thick. Next, you will need a soldering gun. I'm using Hako type here with a stand, and I'll do the soldering on a white sheet of paper so that you can see what I'm doing, and we won't make this place a mess. Okay, now as you can see, this is our IC. Okay, now these are the pin heads. Here we need 4 pin heads and here we need 6 pin heads, so I prefer using a cutter for this. So you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have 4 pin, you just cut these. As you can see, now we have 4 pins here and 6 pins there. Now these are our 4 pins. Grab your IC and here you can simply do this to add these items. As you can see, you can either add them from here or from here, but I prefer adding them from here so that we can solder these pins from up here. As you can see, these are the pins. Now what we need to do is place this item. Now this is our soldering gun. I already added it. As you can see, smoke is coming out, so it's now ready to start soldering items. Now what we need to do next is clean this soldering gun, and now I'll show you what you need to do. You simply need to start doing this. Apply the solder to that pin with the pin head on the other side. As you can see, I did solder the first pin. Now go to the second. The point is that when you apply the gun head to this area, it will heat the area, so the solder will easily be inserted on that area, as you can see here and here and here. Now let's take a quick look to see the result. As what you can see, okay, let me show it to you. You can see that the soldering is done correctly. These are a mountain soldering points and everything is soldered the right way. I'll do the same for the other 6 pins here. So let's grab these, let's place them right here. Okay, Now start soldering. Let me zoom in. Let me add it to the middle. Okay, now let's solder. The same way, you will apply the pin head first, and the soldering gun head first to the pin head to heat it up. Then you can simply add the soldering material. Go one by one. Okay. Okay. Now we are done. Let me show you what I did. As you can see here, I soldered all of these wires, all of these pins. As you can see, when you look from the side, from this side and from this side, it's soldered correctly and everything is done now. Now the main tips that I need to mention here is, first, clear the head of this iron after soldering to make sure that it won't, as you can see, it won't break or it won't. Okay, now it's cleared. Now place it there, and since you won't be using it anymore, you should unplug it from electricity. Now let's review the soldering tips. The first thing is you need to do to solder items is to place the head of the soldering gun on that pin to heat it up. Once it's heated, it's for half a second or a second, you will add the solder, which is this. Let's say that I apply the solder gun head from the right, then I will need to apply the solder from the left, and it will give me a mountain solder view, as you can see here and here and here on these pins. Common mistake is that most people add the solder to the solder gun head and pour it on this pin, which will cause the pins to look in a circular form, not in a mountain view form. So I prefer my method, since it will help, let's say, distribute the solder around the pin, and it will give it a very nice shape and it will conduct correctly. So make sure that you apply the pin head to the area before you apply the solder. Then you apply the solder and it will pour itself on that pin correctly on all sides, and it will conduct in a very good way. If you have any question regarding the soldering, please ask in the Q&A bar. Thanks for watching this lesson. This is Educational Engineering Team.